Robert the Arm Vapor here. Today with something sent to me by Coil Master. This thing right here. Coil Master coiling kit. There you go. It's obviously a coiling jig. You know, how many of us are using our screwdrivers, right? Or maybe some sort of coiling jig like this, which has the, different size diameter post in there, and this has my 7/64 bit in there right now, or even a Tesla coiler here. So all these things kind of work on the same principle. You trap your wire and you wrap your coil around there, and boom, there you go. Nice kind of thing to use. This takes another step further. Let's open the box. So in here is this plastic bag with all this stuff in here. Okay, let me take that one, put it aside. What is in there? All that is what's in there. Okay, so let me get a pointy point. Here we go. What do we have here? We have a little blue flathead screwdriver. At least this one's blue. Okay, let's put that to the side for a moment. You have a common shaft here, Coil Master shaft here. You got 5 heads here, coiling heads with 5 different shafts. So if I take this and like move that out, you see that's a shaft, right? Same there. Same here. Each one of these has a different diameter shaft in it. And this ranges from 1 millimeter up to 3 millimeters in half millimeter increments. So you got 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3 millimeter. All right. So what is this thing all about? Let's just stay with the, let me move all this stuff out here. And let's just stay with the 3 millimeter head with the common body. So what you do is, here's the common body. You unscrew it. You take the diameter that you want to work with. You slip it through here, right? So there's the center hole. Screw it back onto the common body. The shaft, right? The common shaft. And you'll notice that you have a hole there that comes out there, and that's where you're going to thread your Canthol through, or nichrome, whatever wire you're using. And here's your coiler, and your coiler has the center hole, which goes on the shaft. You have this little screwed on pip here. Well, I guess I should kind of, let me go in a little bit. Okay. It's that little screw head there, right there, that as you're turning this to coil, that is what's going to wrap that your wire around that shaft. And you'll notice that on this shaft, on this particular one anyways, they have 2 positions for you to use your little blue screwdriver at your wish, or whatever else you have, to take this out, and whichever position you want that in, depending on what type of coil I guess you're creating. I'm not a coil wizard, so I have no clue. This one looks like it would create a tighter wrap, maybe. I don't know. Looser wrap. I don't know. I don't know what the advantage is. I'm not that sophisticated of a coiler. Don't know. But that's what it's there for. So you can take that and move it back and forth depending on what type of coil you're creating, I guess. So let's take a piece of, the diameter of the hole of this shaft on the common part is, I know I can fit my 24 gauge in there. So, and it's sloppy. So I know you could probably get 22 and probably even 20 gauge wire in that. All right, but I know I can at least get down to my 24. That's for sure. So let me take a piece of, we're going to try 28 gauge. Kind of somewhere in the middle. Well, depends. Depends on what you think middle is, I guess. But certainly 28 gauge is, a lot of people use 28 gauge. A lot of your super sub-ohmers use a lot less. Right, so Here's a piece of 28. And I'm going to, I like to thread it, I don't like to thread it that way and pull it all the way through. I just go from here up, and then I can grab it, right? Take your coiling head that matches your shaft. Yes, I should shaft, right? And then sort of start it, and then what you do is it's twist, right? And don't put pressure going that way towards the common shaft. Just lightly grab this and let the springiness of it kind of like control what's going on with the wire. Let the wire do its thing as you lightly turn this. All right, obviously counting the number of wraps you want, or look at it any way you want. We'll just, I'm not concerned with how many I'm putting out there, but, and I hope this is staying somewhat focused. Come on, focus up, focus up. Can we get this focused? Can we get this focused? Focused. All right, so that's what's basically going on there. I'm going to pull this off. And here's my coil. I'm just going to slide this off the shaft like that. There's the coil. Here's the coil. Let's get it up here on this cam. Look at how beautiful that is. Now you can take this and, you know, reverse it back on here. I'll show it on this cam, right? So that if you want to tidy it up a bit or sort it out, you know, from the other side, you know, so I'm just going to hold this with my thumb as okay, I want these both coming to the same direction, like kind of thing. There you go, right? Perfect. It's a masterful coil. Some of us, like, and for you people that like to do, use these kind of things, because it's got this little stop edge here, and that's how you're going to do your center post build, is by pushing it over. Well, take that, you put it on your 3mm, because this is the 3mm I use. Fits on there perfectly. So you can continue to do that if you wish. That is just a pretty, pretty coil. Pretty. Absolutely pretty. Okay. I had to practice. All right? Believe me, when I first got this thing, do I have a, let me see if I got what I'll call one of the smushies around. No, I can't find one. But you got to practice a little bit. All right? So take take some wire and practice with it, because, I mean, if I thought it's not magic. Sorry. I thought it was magic. I thought all I had to do is put my canthe in there, turn this, and I come out with this magical coil. No, it doesn't work that way, because I was putting pressure down towards the common shaft while I was doing this, right? And all I was doing was really winding wire on top of itself. I go, oh, that was stupid. Let me straighten that out. There's no sense in wasting more wire. Straighten it out. You know, okay, how do I get this to work right? And, you know, it takes a while to get the feel. And like I said, you don't want to put pressure going towards the common shaft. You let the wire do the work for you as far as spacing it out. Don't put pressure going down that way. Just nice and gentle. Just, you know, turn it and let it bounce if you want. It doesn't matter. Come back on it and keep. It just works. It just works. It does become, after, you know, some moderate practice, it does become magical. The Coil Master does become magical. Now, my niggles. My niggles are, I got these, you know, little sausages, right? Even though I never had a problem using it once I got the hang of it, it would be nice if this might have a little moreness to it, like maybe a little more diameter to the common shaft and maybe a little more length, so it was a little more comfortable in the hand. But it takes you how many seconds really to wrap a coil, so all right. But I would like to see some indexing, all right, on this, like a line, maybe. or something to know, like to help me easier keep focused as far as counting. Yeah, I guess I could use the little pip there. Yeah, as far as, that's what's doing the coiling for you as you turn this. So I guess I could really use that. So minor niggles, minor niggles. You know what else I would like? There's a lot of stuff here. You got a lot of different heads, right? With a lot of different shafts, and each shaft only goes to one of these heads. There's a lot of parts where rolling off the desk and going into oblivion somewhere underneath your desk can happen. How about, I'll probably find a cinch sack or something to put all this in. But it'd be nice to have like its own little case that you could either, as an option, let's say, where each one of these fits in its appropriate place and is labeled. Oh, that's another thing. Why aren't these labeled as to what diameter they are? Because let's face it, here, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Here's the one. Here's the one that goes to this one, right? So each one of these looks identical, all right, from this perspective. Each one of them looks identical. So I have to go, oh, okay, that's not the one I want. That's, no, okay, that one's bigger now, and figure out, oh, okay, that's the one I want. Why aren't they labeled? 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. Why aren't they either on the body or something, so that I can just go and look at it and go, that's the one I want to use today. Thank you. All right, that is a niggle. All right, label these things. What's it take? I mean, you put the paint on here for your Coil Master name. What would it take to put a 1, a 1.5, a 2, a 2.5, and a 3? What would it take? So that, I think they should do that. But as I was talking about, why not like some sort of pouch where each one of these things has its place? And quite frankly, if the pouch had the labeling on it, I wouldn't give a crap if this had the labeling on it or not, right? Oh, there's the 3. It would be my fault if I put it back in the wrong spot, right? But some nice little thing that, okay, each one has its place. Okay, it's stored. And it's, cool. Those are like the only kind of like niggles I have. It works perfectly, though. It works wonderfully. You've got 5 different diameters to work with here. Very common diameters that we all kind of use. Once you do a little practice, because it's not magic, a little practice and boom, you're good to go. Really, seriously. It's a wonderful, wonderful tool. I will be using it. It will be my coiler. It will be my coiler, and then when I need some extra leverage or whatever, or tweaking or whatever, then I'll use the appropriate screwdriver with the appropriate diameter for the coil I'm making. But as far as creating the coil, boom, right there. It's going to be the Coil Master. Robert, the Arm Vapor. Bye.